NBA 2K24 has been out for a minute now. Sorry with this being so late, but I'd like to offer up my top 10 teams to rebuild in NBA 2K24 MyLeague in the modern era. I say this because I may potentially offer up some ideas for other eras in the future. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. Today I have 4 honorable mentions, and we'll fly through those really quickly, starting with the Philadelphia 76ers. Now yes, I know, they think they are a championship team, and they might be in the first season in the video game. Clearly, Joel Embiid is a megastar and one of the top MVP candidates year in and year out. But his main support are all sitting with expiring contracts. With a lot of roster turnover and only 2 first-round picks till 2028, there's a lot of work to be done in Philly. The Charlotte Hornets are a team that is very typically on these type of lists, and this year, they're just shy of the top 10 for me. Because LaMelo Ball is their main star, and he is locked up for a long time. Gordon Hayward is coming off the books, and they have a bunch of draft picks. Their 2024 first, by the way, is lottery protected, so it's likely that they'll get it back and lose 2025s instead. The Orlando Magic are another team that is a repeat offender of these lists, but this time they have a decent top 3 that can stay together a couple of seasons. However, they need a backcourt. Unless Jalen Suggs or Anthony Black develops really well, you'll need to look towards free agency or use one of the many draft picks the Magic possesses to shore up the rest of the team. The Damian Lillard drama is enough. If you take the Trailblazers and trade Dame Lillard for the best package you can from Miami or any other team if you don't care about his wishes, you can start the rebuild. That's exactly what my friends Kaz Cray and Octagonal Gaming did in their series, and you should check those both out. But once Lillard is out, it's Anthony Simons time, and the team is committed to Jeremy Grant and Yusuf Nurkic, of all people, for 3 seasons. There are young building blocks like Scoot Henderson and Shaedon Sharpe, but the cap won't be a fun time navigating with this team that sent their 2024 first lottery protected to Chicago. Without Lillard, there's a shot at getting that back. Now we move on to the actual top 10. Number 10, the Los Angeles Clippers, who are not only without their 2024 first rounder, but they could lose Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook after the first season. They all have player options, which would leave them with not much to work with in this rebuild at all. It's a team that could be in the top 5 for 2K25, but right now they're a fringe top 10 rebuild. Number 9 is the San Antonio Spurs, who, with number 1 overall pick Victor Wembanyama and Keldon Johnson on a 4-year contract, finally have something to build around. The Spurs also got Jeremy Sochan and Malachi Branham in the first round the previous year, so a young core could be brewing in San Antonio. They also happen to have 3 potential first-round picks in 2024, with 2 of them being protected, and 3 more in 2025 with just 1 protected. Plenty of firepower to take this team back to glory. At number 8, it's the Golden State Warriors, and I know they're not your typical rebuild team. They've won enough and people are tired of them, and I get that. However, they are an old team paying a lot of money out to 33-plus-year-old guys with no youth other than Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and their recent draft picks. They have a 2024 top 3 protected first that is in Boston, which likely doesn't come back to them, so it's not a great start to getting the team younger. With Klay Thompson coming off the books, is it time for the Warriors to just go all-out rebuild around Curry for one last run of his career? You decide. Number 7 is the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they're led by somebody other than Cat for once. Anthony Edwards is the new star in Minneapolis, and Cat can play Robin to his Batman. They are both around for 5 years together, so that's your window. Unfortunately, no 2025 or 2027 pick to work with, but if the goal is to win in 5 years, you might want to find their third wheel because Rudy Gobert's contract is atrocious. Number 6 for this year is the Indiana Pacers. Now, they were one of my favorite rebuilds last year, but this year, Halliburton has become a star in the league. He and Benedict Mathurin make up a solid young backcourt. The front court, though, needs a lot of help. With Halliburton on roster for 6 years, he's the guy you're trying to win the chip with, and the Pacers are loaded with all kinds of picks, including 2 firsts right away. Number 5 is the Toronto Raptors. Now, they're in a weird spot because Fred VanVleet left and Siakam might do that after this season. I think it's time for Scotty Barnes to be the new leader in Toronto. I'm not sold on a single other player on this roster, and it will be a little tough to replace them with their 2024 pick, top 5 protected to the Spurs. Number 4 is the Detroit Pistons. Now, this team is very young and really just needs to develop. With 2021 first overall pick Cade Cunningham, 2022 fifth overall pick Jaden Ivey, 2022 13th overall pick Jalen Duren, 2020 second overall pick James Wiseman, 2018 second overall pick Marvin Bagley III, and 2023 fifth overall pick Ozar Thompson. The team should be loaded with some type of talent. Can you develop that talent? Oh, and by the way, their pick is lottery protected in 2024, so that should come back and become a 2025 instead that gets sent to the Knicks. Number 3 is the Washington Wizards. For the next 4 years, the Wizards are committed to building around 28-year-old Kyle Kuzma and 24-year-old Jordan Poole. Meh. 3 of those 4 years, they also have Daniel Gafford at center. Meh. I'm not sold on the roster or the young pieces. Denny Avdija is going to have his contract come up, and Bilal Coulibaly is all that's left. The Wizards' 2024 first is in Houston as a lottery-protected pick, which should come back for their 2025 instead, but the Wizards are loaded with picks to make it work. Number 2, the Chicago Bulls. I like the Bulls this year. They have stuck themselves in purgatory by trying to stay relevant and competitive. With the injury-riddled Zach LaVine and aging helpers in DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic. Lonzo Ball's fine, but I'd get something for DeRozan and Vucevic and start the all-out rebuild. They squandered the development of former 4th overall selection Patrick Williams and former 7th overall selection Kobe White. And they seem to be squandering second-round pick Ayo Dosunmu as well. The Bulls have only 1 second-round pick in 2028, but at least they kept most of their first-rounders. To me, the Bulls seemed like a stagnated team. Can you jumpstart them with a little energy in the rebuild and get this team to prominence they have not seen since Jordan? Last but not least, number 1, the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the Nets are a team that's sold out not just once, but twice in the last 15 years. The Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett trade netted them just 1 conference semifinal appearance, and recently the teaming of Kevin Durant with James Harden and Kyrie Irving netted them just 1 conference semifinal appearance. The Nets, like the Mets in baseball or the Jets in football, seem to be snake-bitten. Now, they have 3 years of McCall Bridges teamed with Cameron Johnson. They need more. Tough to get more, though, when Ben Simmons is wasting near $40 million of your money as a bench player. I think the plan should be to blow this up and keep just Bridges and Johnson. They got 2 firsts in 2025, but they desperately need some picks in 2024 to freshen the roster up. Put that GM hat on and go to work. Those are my choices for the top 10 teams to rebuild an NBA 2K24 MyLeague modern era. If you'd like lists for other eras, let me know. I'd be glad to make those as well. If you'd like to see a MyLeague rebuild on the channel, let me know that as well.